Hello, favorite friends. Oh, beautiful faces. I'm so happy to see you guys. Got Arizona, Hawaii, Ontario, Canada, Austin, Las Vegas, Australia, Oregon, Caribbean, Calgary, Vienna, New Zealand. Welcome to 2025, friends. Every January, we get together as a community and tune into the energetics of the new year. The loose structure of today is that we'll start by doing a little breathing, attuning our channels, and then before we go into 2025, what I've discovered after 2+ decades of working with beautiful, sensitive souls who are also very successful and high accomplishment people, such as you guys, oftentimes you have breakthrough after breakthrough in your life, and you don't take time to celebrate it. We end up getting ourselves into a state of burnout because we're always marching forward, doing so many badass things, overcoming challenges, leaning so much wisdom, and getting stronger and more awesome and more badass as the years go on, and we don't pause to take stock and celebrate it. So since I have your undivided attention today, I'd like to take at least a few minutes for us to take out a journal to celebrate the beauty and the gifts and the blessings, the challenges that you've risen above over the last year. Take stock of that before we start sensing into the energies of 2025. And so at the end of this gathering, I'd like to carve out some time to also open the line and hear some thoughts and wisdom from everyone. Let's take beautiful care of ourselves on all levels. Does that sound good, you guys? Yes? So let's do a little breathing practice together, a little Qigong-based breathing practice together to get our channels attuned. I'll make sure that this is beginner friendly because we have some very advanced practitioners. Well, we have advanced souls all across the board in this room. Some of us are more experienced in Qigong practices and some of us have some other practices. So I'll make sure that this is beginner friendly. So let's stand up nice and tall and bounce in place a little bit. And shake loose any stressful energies that you might be holding in your physical body. Getting used to the practice, the cultivation of bringing all levels of our being into every gathering. Our bodies, our minds, our emotions, our souls, all integrated. Because we live in this culture that's so mental heavy, a lot of times the simple practice of feeling your physical body is profound. So bounce in place, scan yourself from head to toe. As you wiggle and jiggle, choose consciously to take some deep breaths and melt away any unnecessary tension that you're holding in your body. And let's set the intention that today's gathering brings forth the most beautiful inspiration, clarity, and wisdom that is just precisely what you need. And that is not only a mental experience, but that it moves and infuses itself into every nook and cranny of your being so that you can embody the wisdom that your high self is breathing into you and carry yourself with a quality of presence and beingness that is congruent with your highest self. Good. Feel your head aligned over your shoulders. Feel your shoulders over your diaphragm, your torso, your core, your hips and pelvis. Feel your legs nice and strong. Feel your knees, your shins, your calves, your ankles, your feet. Good. Now stand up nice and tall. Sweep your arms. Take a huge deep breath, and as you continue to breathe, blessings upon blessings showering down from head to toe. Let's set the intention that your high self breathes itself through you. That this gathering gives us the beautiful opportunities to merge even more fully with our highest self. Let's do 2 more. Opening your crown, receiving divine blessings as it showers down from head to toe. As you continue to breathe, open yourself to receiving these gifts and blessings. Beautiful. Let's take 1 more pass. Big, juicy breath. Perfect. Go ahead and shift your body weight left, right, front, and center. And place your hands over your lower belly. And feel your physical center of gravity. And cultivate this practice of being centered in your physical center of gravity, fully embodied, centered, and rooted within yourself. If you're turning up your sensitivity and sensibilities of the energetics, as soon as you lock into the physical center of gravity of your belly, your entire energy field goes click, 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 click. It clicks into place a more coherent, more present state of being. Your entire energy field shifts. Your entire reality shifts. You're locked back into the proper time-space coordinate. You can actually be present. Notice that. What would your life look like if you bring this quality of presence and centeredness into everything 24/7, 365? Take 3 deep breaths. With each and every breath, you feel your belly glowing brighter and stronger and brighter and stronger. You feel this quality of presence and centeredness amplifying itself. And we can see that all the ups and downs of life, all the trials and tribulations, all the challenges that come our way is like martial arts sparring partners. It teaches us how to center ourselves even more strongly. 2025 is going to be a graduation year. Could it be that the last 5 years was like we trained from yellow belts to brown belt, and this is our black belt graduation year? Practice, cultivate, breathe deeply with your belly. Continuing to bring this awareness in your belly, now also spread your awareness into your legs and into your feet. Wiggle your toes and feet and press deeply into the earth and feel your feet growing roots deeper and deeper and deeper into the earth. Feel this unshakable sense of rootedness and groundedness in your being. And feel a bi-directional communication, a pulsation of energy and information and love and wisdom between you and Mother Nature, Mother Earth. feel that regardless of whatever unfolds on the world stage, this instinctual and intuitive sensing and communication between you and the consciousness of Mother Earth is always alive and will always bring you to the perfect place at the perfect time. So take a deep breath and relax into this knowingness. Relax into this deep trust and safety. And open yourself to receiving guidance and love and wisdom from Mother Nature. Take a deep breath in. Drink of this energy and deep breath out. Infuse it into every nook and cranny of your being. And deep breath in. Drink, 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 and deep breath out. Infuse it into your entire being. And one more time, deeply in. And deeply out. Feel your life, your quality of beingness, and your doingness as an expression of Mother Nature's wisdom, guided by her, supported by her at all times. And notice as you come back to your belly breath, it feels even more natural, more easeful to breathe deeply with your belly. With this feeling of being held in the safety of Mother Nature's embrace, with this feeling of inner centeredness, inner confidence, breathing deeply with your belly. Now we can come up to the level of the heart and give ourselves permission to feel all that there is to be felt here. The theme of today's masterclass is graduating to a higher level of love and coherence. That this is the year that we melt our hearts back open. So we begin by becoming aware of how, probably for good reasons, we've built up some armor, some walls around the heart, especially in the last 5 years with challenges and difficulties and misunderstandings and strenuous situations in our relationships, in our communities. The heart aches, the heart breaks, the need to withdraw sometimes, to distance ourselves. Take a moment to give yourself unconditional love and allowance and deep understanding of why it was sensible at the time for you to wall up your heart. Why did you build up this armor around your heart? As you permit these sensations, go deeper and deeper into it and permit yourself to feel the anger, the sadness, the grief, the fear, the frustrations. The hurt of betrayals, the discordant energies of being misunderstood. How hurtful it is to not feel seen and felt and heard properly. Allow the emotions to arise and the tears to come through if they want to come through. Are there not those days where the kindest, most loving thing that we can offer ourselves is the space to feel all of this and not try to be more zen, more enlightened than we actually authentically feel? Give ourselves space to feel the pain, the hurt, the sadness, the grief, the anger. And as this energies unfolds, it naturally runs its course if we simply give it space. We begin to see how we were doing the best that we could in that moment. We begin to see how everybody else was also doing the best they could with the skills and abilities they had in that moment. And we give ourselves some spaciousness and some grace, and we drop deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the depths of our heart's love and wisdom, our true heart's desire, which is to love. So I invite you to drop deeper now and deeper and deeper and deeper into the center, into the core of your true essence of love. Place your hands over your heart. Take your consciousness deeper into the center of your heart, and you see this glow, this beauty, this love, this wisdom, this radiance that emanates from inside your heart. It is so potent, it is so powerful that we might even be in awe of it. This heart's love and wisdom is so potent and powerful that it can melt and dissolve away all the old hurts. Because it becomes the dominating energy of your life to move through life from this deep, potent, authentic self. This love, this wisdom, this discernment, this courage. So, as you permit yourself to feel fully the potency, the power, the fierceness of love that is in your heart, take a few deep breaths, allow it to glow brighter and stronger and brighter and stronger. It radiates out from your heart, pushing your hands off of the sternum, and feel it floating your hands out, and it emanates and radiates and radiates and radiates out into your entire energy field, rippling into your communities, into your families, and into the world. Asking ourselves, moving forward into this upcoming new year, what will my life look like and feel like operating from this authentic space of love and wisdom, compassion, courage? All these flavors and qualities of the heart's love, the full spectrum, the full breadth and depth of love that is possible. What if this black belt graduation year is all about exercising our capacity for love and the full spectrum of love, the full depth and breath of love that is possible. Are you ready for these initiations? Feel your feet. Feel your belly. And feel your heart radiating, radiating, radiating this potency of love. And feel your heart beaming up a beam of love and wisdom ding into your headspace, and see your head clear, bright, spacious. Observe your mental thought forms that sometimes floats around, and notice there's a quality of energy to thoughts that are of the frequencies of victimhood, of limitation programs, old distortion patterns, versus the expression of your heart's true, authentic love expressing itself through your intellect, through your visionary abilities, through your thoughts and ideas that are congruent with inspiration, creation, empowerment, love, joy, peace, healing, wholeness. You can tell when you're running old limitation programs. You can tell when your headspace is congruent with your heart's authentic love. You know the difference. What if we commit to cultivating this practice of observing when we're operating from our true authentic self and when we're running old limitation programs? We all have this skill. Now practice and cultivate and make it your 24/7, 365 commitment to choosing to operate from your truest, deepest, most authentic self. And as these old limitation programs show themselves, take a deep breath in and deep breath out. Dissolve, 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 let it go, and reclaim that mental energy to channel it in the directions that you prefer, that's aligned with your heart's truest, deepest desire and the purpose of your incarnation in this life. Take a moment and become aware of your head and heart at the same time, coming into coherence and congruence. And take a moment to become aware of your heart and your belly at the same time, coming into congruence and coherence. Now become aware of your head, your heart, your belly at the same time. Become aware of your hands, pulsating with frequencies of wisdom and love, creativity, joy, magic, wizardry. Centered in your head, your heart, your belly, your hands, and your feet. Activating all of your multidimensional capacities in an integrated, stable, and embodied way. The head, the heart, the belly, the hands, the feet, all activated and online. From your heart center, take another giant breath, please, and emanate this beautiful energy so that your entire energy field is flooded with this integrated, stable sense of love and wisdom and coherence. Brightness and luminosity in your head, in your heart, in your belly, in your hands, in your feet, but especially the heart. Choosing to melt the heart back open and feel it blossoming and blossoming and opening and opening and opening and blossoming and blossoming and opening, flooding your entire energy field with your heart's true potency of love. Let's take 9 deep breaths. 9 representing a completion of a cycle, 2025 being a 9, celebrating this stepping into our graduation this year. You guys ready? Let's take a deep breath in, deeply out. Full breath in, full breath out. Beautiful. Taking cycles and cycles of deeply nourishing breaths. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. Breathing at your own perfect pace. Nourishing yourself. Inviting in your highest self to express itself through the embodiment of every action, every breath, every word, every moment of every day. Deep breath in, deeply out. Integrating on all levels, body, mind, emotion, soul, deeply in and deeply out. Good, let's take 2 more. Last one, beautiful, rich and juicy breath in and gently pause. Hold. Pause. Hold. And release. Release, release, release. Feeling into your true, authentic state of peace and expansion, spaciousness. Feeling into this experience of utter stillness and yet intense bubbling aliveness at the same time. And from this state, as the breath gently, gently rises and falls, we become aware of this physical vehicle that was custom made exactly perfectly just for you. We precipitate into our heart center. Bing! Feel the heart's love radiating and radiating and radiating. Allowing the universe to breathe you, to breathe through you, to express love and wisdom through you and through your heart. And we become aware of our belly center, pulsating, pulsating, pulsating with vitality, with a quality of beingness, a confidence that is unshakable, a sense of inner stability that is always available. And we become aware of our head, so bright, clear, and spacious. Not only able to process the five physical senses, but all the clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, all the multidimensional sensing abilities, integrating the head, the heart, the belly. We feel our feet rooted and grounded in this earth. We feel this concept, not just as a concept, but as a lived experience of bringing heaven onto earth, being the conduit of heaven and earth. In tangible, practical, day-to-day ways, grounded and rooted, fully present and embodied in the physical dimensions of life. We become aware of our hands, imbued with the next level of love, coherence, magic, and wizardry. The head, heart, belly, hands, and feet. This feels so good because it's our true, authentic, natural state. Become aware of the many different ways you can use your breath and consciousness to manifest a beautiful, rich, delicious life. Become aware of a vortex of energy gushing up from Mother Nature, Mother Earth, up through your feet, up into your root chakra, and it floods up through your central channel, blessing you, gifting you with the richness and blessings of all that the earth has to offer you. A beauty and richness that is juicy and blissful as it rises up through your roots, up through your center, up into your heart, up into your throat, up into your head, and up into your crown. And it gushes out like a fountain. And then it showers down and blesses every aspect of your life. So much richness, so much abundance gushing through. Take another breath and permit this rushing up of richness and juiciness from Mother Nature, from the earth, through your root into your center, into your belly, your solar plexus, your heart, and gently it refines itself, mists up into your throat, into your head, brightening your mind. And then, like a fountain, it gushes out from your crown. Blessings, 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 showering down, blessing every aspect of your life. One more time, invite in this richness, this blissful juiciness as it comes up through your root into your belly, and it keeps coming up and blessing and rejuvenating every cell of your being. This beautiful energy into your throat, into your head, and into your crown, and fountaining out. The blessings are multidimensional and multi-directional because it's also coming down from your crown. So sweep your arms, just like we started. Take a deep breath and reach up into the heavenly realms and permit the blessings from head to toe to come through, opening your crown to also permit the blessings to come down through your crown. Divine blessings, blessing your head space with clarity of vision and thought. Blessing your throat and mouth with the most beautiful communications. Blessing your heart with divine gifts of love and timeless eternal wisdom. Blessing your solar plexus with healthy balanced dynamics and healthy right use of your power. Blessing your belly with longevity and vitality, health, well-being. Blessing your root with the feeling of unshakable inner stability and safety. And channeling all of this down into the earth so that it can express itself in our earthly life. Let's do two more like that. Sweep your arms and permit the blessings to shower down through your center from head to toe. Let's complete one more final pass. End of this final pass. Let's go ahead and place our hands crisscross over the belly center again, about an inch to inch and a half below your belly button, your physical center of gravity. And go ahead and tighten up your energy field a bit, centering in your belly. Become aware of the saliva in your mouth, which has been programmed with the medicine, the elixir of today's meditation. And drink of this medicine. and permit the elixir of today's meditation and today's gathering to unfold exactly perfectly, precisely orchestrated by your own highest self, supporting you in creating the very best 2025 that's possible, opening to receiving all the gifts and blessings that are awaiting you this year. From this vantage point, I want to invite you to gently wiggle your hands and feet, your fingers, your toes. Massage your belly a bit, massage your lower back a little bit, and pat your hips and thighs to get more grounded and embodied. Beautiful, you guys. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, part 1, meditation. From this state, I want to invite you to either sit in contemplation for a couple minutes or get your journal to actually take time to honor yourself for the profound accomplishments, achievements, manifestations, gifts, and blessings, the challenges, initiations, the growth, and evolution of your past year. I know many of you personally. I know that you guys have been through huge things in this past year. Please take a moment to honor yourself. Wow, I did that. Wow, I showed up in such a gracious way in that situation. I'm truly proud of myself. Wow, that situation was so intense and I did it. I did it. So jot down at least 3 up to 10 things that you'd like to acknowledge yourself for. I'll give you 1 more minute, and I want to invite you to become aware of your heart, your belly, your hands, your feet as you're journaling. Notice if you are well practiced in operating from a pure mental plane. Notice what the journal experience is like if you stay with your heart, stay with your belly, stay with your hands and feet. If you have a beverage with you, celebrate. Cheers, everyone. Woohoo! Congratulations, you did it. So, as we've shared, this is the big year of graduation. So, all of us synergizing and alchemizing together the wisdom and lessons learned, the growth that has transpired in the last 5 years to turn all of those puzzle pieces or components of skills and wisdoms and abilities that we've cultivated and actually weave it into the tapestry of a new set of possibilities this year. So, part two, here we go, sensing into the energies and themes of 2025. And as I go into meditative state, these are the 9 major themes that came to me, and I'd love to hear how it's landing for you and if it resonates. Much of this, I think there's an overarching theme of an integration and stabilization process instead of the bits and pieces and fragments that we've had to work on one at a time. So now, as we mature in wisdom and growth and evolution, we're integrating a lot of things into a new octave of possibilities. 2025 is our year that we graduate into a higher level of coherence and love, where we learn how to capacitate a greater depth and breadth of love, a greater, fuller spectrum of love. It's a very advanced practice. I see a lot of ladies here. Maybe some of you have given birth, or I see some men here that are maybe parents and you've witnessed a birth. You know what it takes for a woman to capacitate the growth of a baby and capacitate the birth of a baby? I feel that this is a year that something like this is going to happen with our hearts, our collective hearts, where it's just like birthing a fuller depth and breadth and spectrum and fierceness and potency of love, because the world and our lives will call for it. Because anything that's less than the fullest, most potent, most sincere love is just not going to cut it. So there's like our physiological ability to capacitate an authentic expression of love. That's what's going to be called forth this year. And it might show up with different themes and flavors in each of our lives, but I am quite certain in my visionary state, I get these guidance that for all of us, that there is a initiation of learning how to capacitate a more potent, deeper breadth and depth of love and anchoring in more growth, more prosperity, deep and beautiful transformation this year as a byproduct of that. We're also going to get a far deeper understanding of the mechanics of creation. We're going to encounter different situations in our lives where we will feel uncertain or indecisive, or we'll grapple with something, and then boom, it will come to us in a meditative state, the clarity that, oh, I'm not a victim of these external circumstances. I'm a co-creator of this situation. So where can I pour my energy, my attention, my intention into directing the situation into the direction that is most congruent and most authentic for me? There's a wisdom there because there's a nuance of timing. Like the teenager version of us would be like, F that, I don't want anything to do with it. It feels incongruent. You just like messily leave a situation. The version of you now that is more evolved, more wise, knows that, okay, the time has come for me to tie up the loose ends of this situation, to walk away from it and transition gracefully and graciously. So we don't do things so brash, but we also have that clarity. And then we move into creation and action in a way that has, there's a paradox of like there's a gracefulness and a graciousness and a patience. And as a byproduct of that patience, the creation and manifestation happens even faster than we could have ever expected. Way faster than if we're impatient with it. You hear the paradox? So there's these kinds of like maturing of wisdom that's going to unfold this year. We're going to learn how to wield our power of creation in a far more conscious and intentional ways. So let's break down the 9 major themes and see how this lands for you. Theme number 1 is that if it hasn't already happened, This is the year where, on a mass scale, not just with conscious, intentional communities, but on a mass scale, that we outgrow the games of divisiveness, recognizing that we've been played. Humanity has been played, and it's not just communities like ours. On a mass scale, people will realize that they've been played by the media, by all these different agendas to keep us divided, to keep us weak, so that we're easily manipulated by external agendas. So people will just get so fed up and so burnt out from it that there will be a mass scale uprising into unity and oneness and a deepening respect and a maturing understanding of diverse perspectives, moving away from defensiveness and divisiveness into what our heart really truly desires, which is care and connection. So, as we move out of divisiveness, whether it's in work or personal life or in play, in our communities, you'll start to notice that even people that aren't, meditators or cultivators, that it's more natural and easy for conversations to move out of either or conversations into both and conversations. That people that you used to feel like, well, I don't know, they're not a meditator, they don't seem spiritual. And then when it comes down to it, they're every bit as spiritual as you are. If you just drop the dogma and just show up with your heart's love, you discover that underneath all of it is care and connection and love. So our good friend Charles Eisenstein has popularized this idea of the interbeing. We're actually going to see that at play. And as heartbreaking and intense as it is, we've seen how with the flood in Asheville and the fires in LA and all these very intense things. Have you noticed that in the intensity of these situations, who cares if you voted red or blue? Who cares what all these other identity politics and ideas of divisiveness is just like none of us want to wish ill on another human being. I don't care which medical procedure you got or not. I don't care what you do for a profession. I don't care about your politics. I just care that you're alive and safe. And I care that you have a roof over your head and your family and your kids are safe. My heart weeps for the suffering. And the part of my heart that was all walled up before that said, because of medical agendas or political divisiveness, like that's just gone. It's not there anymore. So I think we're going to see a lot of this intense initiation into healing and coming back into unity and oneness and care and connection with one another. Specifically in your life, we meditated on this during the meditation part. Are there some themes that are really calling to you where you're still holding a certain amount of armor and defensiveness that maybe served a really good purpose the last 4 or 5 years, but it's just obsolete right now? If you have your journal, what advice does your high self have for you in this moment as we enter into 2025? Is there a layer of defensiveness and armor that is ready to be softened so that you can experience the authentic richness and care and connection that your soul is really yearning to experience? I'll give you a moment to jot down anything that's coming to you. What's the support that you need in order to soften that armor and find the courage to express the care and connection that you really want to be experiencing? Over the holiday week, this came up for me. This first one came up for me that led to 5 days of crying, just sobbing and sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. Like tears from the soul that just kept coming and coming and coming. And I was like, is this gonna end? No, another day of it until the armor was just gone. It's just raw, pure love. And that you discover that you just love and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm thankful for the holiday week, having some downtime to just sob and allow what needs to be felt, and all that needed to be softened and melted away to run its course. So, what do you need in your life so that you're not like rush, 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 go, 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 and you can actually give space for this kind of alchemy to unfold for you? The second major theme that all of these, as you can tell, are all related is that we're going to experience intangible, practical day-to-day situations in our relationships, in our family dynamics, in our work and career. We're going to exercise the muscles of the full spectrum of love, where we discover where are the situations in our lives where a joyful, playful, childlike kind of love is exactly what is called forth, exactly what is most beautiful and appropriate. Where is there a fierce, intense kind of love to alchemize and move through blocks and old limitations that has like an audacity, a courage to it? And where is there a gentler, more compassionate, like Kuan Yin type of energy that is appropriate in your life? Or whichever flavors, Christ consciousness, whichever ascended masters that you attune to, whose wisdom guides your life and supports your life. I'm bringing this up because I think the word love is misunderstood and has, everyone has different ideas about it. But in a tangible, practical, day-to-day way, love expresses itself with a full spectrum of flavors. So this is the year that we're going to experience. Wow, this is what it's like to be joyful and childlike and playful and innocent. This is what it's like to have like a sexual, erotic, orgasmic kind of loving energy. This is what it's like to have the heart's purest compassion. This is what it's like to be like fierce. Fuck you. No, we're not going to have this kind of injustice anymore because every soul deserves to be liberated and free. Like, what does that feel like? The full spectrum. Not just this thing that, I don't know, is it a psyop that in the spiritual communities is like, oh, if you're so spiritual, you're going to be like even keeled and zen all the time. And, you know, um, in the heart readings that is called PQRST, where it's go, if it's flatline, that's called death. Life has ups and downs and cycles and a spectrum of flavors and colors, right? So, with regards to our understanding of what love actually is, this is the year that a lot of situations will show up that calls forth these different colors and dimensions and depth and breadth of love. So, how do we practice this in our day-to-day life? This is a major theme that's going to come up where I often make this joke in our gatherings where in Zen Buddhism they say, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. But in today's world, a lot of us are like, before enlightenment, diapers, diarrhea, and divorce. After enlightenment, diapers, diarrhea, and divorce. And also banking bills and Bitcoin and all the things. So in these tangible, practical, day-to-day situations of your life, how can you exercise your capacity for love so that it's a consistent practice that you deeply integrate and stabilize and strengthen the muscles of these different spectrums and flavors and colors of love when you're changing the diapers, when you're dealing with diarrhea, when you're dealing with your relationship, when you're working on your finances, doing your paperwork, running your business. What's coming up for you here? If you'd like to take a moment to jot down an insight from the wisdom of your high self, are there some situations in your life where a different flavor of love is being called for? A deeper potency of presence is being called for that would completely change the energetics of that situation, of that relationship. Theme number 3, we experienced during the meditation that in the past, many of us have been well cultivated to be very adept at the mental aspects of life. Like many of us do a lot of reading and we're very smart and we've got the different degrees and we're successful in our careers. There's a whole new octave that is available as we integrate the head back with the heart and the heart back with the belly and the hands and the feet. So maybe you're really good at going to nature and putting barefoot on bare earth and connecting with nature. And then you come back to the city and you're all disconnected again. Maybe you're really good at doing like mental processing. And then when you meditate, oh, you go into the heart's beautiful, blissful place. And then you go back to work and you just are in your head again, right? And then you go to ecstatic dance and you're like moving in your belly and you feel really embodied. And then you get disembodied again. Raise your hand if you can relate to this. It's all kind of fragmented. Like you have access to the possibilities of your head's intelligence, your heart's wisdom, your belly's vitality and juiciness, your hands, your feet, in these separate, fragmented ways. This is the year that will be challenged to bring it all together. What does your life look like and feel like when your heart's inner knowingness is consistently congruent with your visionary seeingness, with your quality of beingness, and with your doingness? Your heart's wisdom and inner knowingness emanating out to inform and infuse your visionary seekingness and all your mental activities. And that is embodied with the quality of beingness that you bring. And whether you're in the doing state or non-doing state, that your head, heart, belly, hands, and feet emanating this coherent, consistent energy field so that you're not sending mixed signals and wishy-washiness into the universe. So we're moving from brown belt to black belt this year, is what I'm trying to say. The integration of all these levels, head, heart, belly, hands, feet, not just when we're meditating, but 24/7, 365. And we're never going to be perfect because there's no such thing as perfection. It's a dynamic process. It's just noticing, like just now when we were doing some journaling, noticing if as soon as you bust out the pen and you start journaling, you go into only a headspace and you've forgotten to be in your heart, your belly, your hands, your feet again. So practice, practice, practice. This is what is a huge aspect of being the new luminous human, that we tap into and access all of these levels and dimensions of our being. So I want to invite you to give yourself a little piece of advice. Where are some places in your life? Like, for example, is it very common for you at work that you just leave your body and you're only in your headspace? Or some of us do things with our hands, which is what a blessing. I do things with my hands when I'm working on clients. I do manual therapy and acupuncture, and it's so meditative and beautiful. And I sometimes have to remember if it's a busy day, there's a lot of appointments, to stay in my heart space when I'm doing this work. Because sometimes there's distractions and you're tracking the calendar and time. So we're all practicing. So what are some key places in your life? Or maybe you can put a little post-it note for yourself at work or at play to integrate all these levels, head, heart, belly, hands, feet. And then surprise and delight yourself to see what kind of results you see when you access the full multidimensional levels of your being and bring that full beingness into your doingness. Number 4, this might trigger some people because, oh, I didn't put it into the slide, but many of you guys are aware that I'm a huge fan of Dr. David Hawkins's work. You guys like David Hawkins? Map of Consciousness and Power versus Force. So I'm gonna stop screen share so we can see each other a little better. Also, I've noticed some beautiful comments here. So Dr. David Hawkins was a giant in consciousness research, and he developed this thing called the map of consciousness, which is a scale of 1,000, where at the different levels of consciousness, we access a different set of possibilities, and our orientation to life is different. So the lower levels might be like apathy and shame and so on, and then it goes to anger and pride. And then 200 is courage. So he says that below 200, mostly the themes of our lives is that we don't take personal responsibility. We act like a victim. And we have this energy of like neediness and graspiness when it comes to life. So he calls it power versus force because below 200, everything is really pushy and forceful and is strenuous, and you're not efficient with your energy use. Above 200, he calls it power because once you move past courage into like neutrality and equanimity and these kinds of levels where you're more rational and reasonable, you are able to see life with the perspective of, oh, life is here for me. I can learn and grow from every experience of life. I choose to take full personal responsibility for my life, and I choose to make everything into a strengthening experience, and I choose to show up as a better version of myself. And then you get into a space of wholeness, right? Because you're like, okay, well, I can empower myself to do this. I empower myself to do that. At some point, wholeness leads to kind of a shadow of this lone wolf syndrome that I see so much in the freedom-minded community. Have you noticed that? So Dr. David Hawkins says you get to the 500 level, he calls that love, and above 5 is like joy and peace and enlightenment and so on. So I've been really contemplating the above 500 level. The energy is more like I permit life to flow through me, that you don't really see life as good or bad anymore. You start to see that, yeah, I've moved through the layers where I know how to take personal responsibility. I know how to be, whole and complete. And then there comes a point on your journey where you realize that there might be something beyond wholeness that your soul is yearning for. That maybe your soul is yearning for life to pulsate through you, to surrender your life to be used by the divine, to be used by the universe, to be of the highest service, to actually surrender so much of this like personal responsibility and I'm not going to be a victim. If you go move way beyond that, there's yet another level of like, just relaxing into the openness and surrender to use your life for the highest good that is possible. So I've been contemplating how that is actually some of what the flavors that happen at the above 500 level of consciousness that Dr. David Hawkins has mapped out. Those of you that have taken the Luminous Prosperity Immersion is an 18-day immersion program that you guys can always access. Is a self-study course. Below 200, at those levels of consciousness, is like life is happening to me. I'm a victim of life, and I'm needy and graspy and controlling and so on. From 200 to 500, life is happening for me. I choose to take personal responsibility. I want to enter into wholeness. I want to learn and grow and strengthen myself, and life is here to teach me things and help me to grow in wisdom and intelligence. And then we get to the 500 plus level, we discover that life can be happening through us. And there is something beyond personal responsibility and wholeness. So in some areas of your life, you might find that you're moving from the below 200 to the above 200. But in some areas of your life, you might be finding that you're moving from the below 500 level and the above 500 level. into love and peace and joy and surrendering to the flow of life to move through you. So just noticing in different areas of your life that in personal growth, we get so many themes about like taking full personal responsibility. And then there comes a point where you might be yearning to move beyond this idea of wholeness and lone wolf syndrome and hyper independence to softening your heart and softening your walls. Like some of us, there are some areas of our lives where we do need to exercise and strengthen our ability to say no and have healthy boundaries. For some of us, there might be, where is there in your life where you've stabilized your skill set and muscle power of having healthy boundaries? And that your next level of growth is to soften into co-creation, interbeing, collaboration, synarchy. It's not right or wrong. There's just stages of development that's happening for many of us. So the frameworks and orientation that was so important for us the last 4 or 5 years, I'm inviting all of us to contemplate if you've outgrown that stage of your development and you're in a place where a next, it's almost scary, a next set of opening is being called for right now. Leaning into trust and leaning into surrendering, leaning into collaboration, because what your heart really desires, you couldn't do it alone. It's not possible. So where are some places in your life where your heart's yearning and desiring something that feels so true and so authentic to you? And you're realizing that I can't lone wolf this one. Being whole and complete is not enough for this. There's a next level that's being called for. Noticing where there's a shadow side of like taking full personal responsibility could potentially lead you to being like overly controlling or cold or rigid and not permitting the breathing, the porousness and the flow of emotions and to rise up into a higher level of possibility of coherence, of even greater depth of love and healing. Where in your life is more flow, more surrender being called for? Where are you yearning for more interbeing, more partnership, more collaboration, more co-creative magic? I'll give you a moment to jot down a few insights before we move on. This fifth one we meditated on together earlier today. Giving ourselves the space to feel all the grief, the sadness, the anger, the frustrations, the resentments that built up. In my case, over the holidays, that led to days upon days of sobbing and weeping. To feel everything, to actually have space, especially if you're like working a lot and you've got kids and so many things going on, to actually give yourself the breathing room to feel everything that is asking to be felt. So part of the intensities of these recent years building up and into this upcoming year is that it's going to become necessary for us to give ourselves the space to feel all the full spectrum of deep feeling that needs to be experienced. And as a gift, a blessing of that, that we access a fuller range of emotional intelligence and a fuller depth and breadth of love, which allows us to liberate a whole lot more energy. Emotions, as I'm sure you've heard, is also called energy in motion. Our feeling sense has a lot to do with our creative capacity. So working with this intelligence and liberating our emotional energy so that we can tap into a higher level of potency and power of our love is going to become non-optional. We can't be shoving our feelings under the rug anymore. That's going to be a huge limiting factor in our ability to create a beautiful life. So in my case, after 2 days, 3 days of crying, it kept coming and kept coming. I just allowed it to come, and then eventually it ran its course, and I discovered myself at a new level of experiencing of life. And maybe it'll come in other waves of it keeps coming. And just to permit all the sensations to arise and give ourselves a loving container and support system to literally melt our hearts back open. You're a human being. You're not a robot. It might bring tears to really sit in the recognition of that. Like, how much of your life have you forced yourself to become robotic? How much of our upbringing, our education system had us do things like meaningless, repetitive tasks that had us become robotic? What kind of support system do you need so that you can feel your heart fully again? The sixth one may be the most important of all. In Qigong practice, it's like a mantra that we say all the time, but now apply it to every moment of everyday life. This idea that wherever your attention goes, your qi, your energy follows. Wherever your attention goes, your energy follows. I'm sure everyone here has heard this. Life is an energy game, which means it's an attention game. On social media, like, why is it like all these platforms, they're trying so hard to grab your attention? Because that's the currency of life. That's the currency of creation. So you know how maybe like some of us are kind of budget conscious, we're careful about where we spend our money on things that are congruent with our values and don't spend money on things that aren't congruent with our values. We want to be careful about not wasting our dollars or whatever currency you use. But actually the real currency is your attention and your energy. I'll be the first to admit that I've got a great room for improvement when it comes to being way more conscious about where I spend my attention and energy and where I may be squandering my attention and energy and letting it be hijacked by agendas that aren't congruent with my values. So, how many of us feel like we move through much of our day feeling pulled in too many directions, distracted, overstressed, overwhelmed? Yes, that's the black belt practice this year. What kind of reminders do you need every morning when you wake up to remind yourself that wherever your attention goes, the energy follows? If you could actually see the energy threads, it would look like this. You watch the news and it's got some kind of like really attention grabbing title. Literally, a bunch of your energy goes and gets like hijacked, like a stream of your energy gets hijacked and entangled with whatever drama they're showing you on the screen. And it happens to all of us. So do you have the Qigong cultivation practice to say, oh, okay, a bunch of my energy just got siphoned out of me. And to take a big breath and reclaim that energy, disconnect from that, bring it back, center, head, heart, belly, hands, and feet. Close up your energy bubble, get grounded and centered, and then get clear. What is my heart's deepest intention and desire? Where may I focus my energy and attention? Actually reclaim that energy and channel it in the directions that you actually desire to create. Because this is how we create with our attention and energy. So this is the year that we become black belts at this kind of martial arts. Reclaiming our energies from agendas that do not deserve our attention, no longer allowing our energies to be hijacked, and choosing very consciously where we channel our attention and energy, because that's how creation happens. We become aware that this is the mechanics of how we create. So take a moment to jot down a little piece of advice for yourself. A little reminder every morning when you wake up that wherever your attention goes, the chi follows. And this is how creation actually happens. Or a little reminder in between things when you're shifting gears between different tasks, different meetings, to actually just take a big breath. After one meeting that maybe there was like a lot of drama involved, but it doesn't serve anybody for you to have an energy thread all entangled in that drama, to actually take a big breath and disconnect from that situation, reclaim your energy, get yourself centered, fully present, and channel your energy effectively on the task at hand that actually deserves your energy. Have that Qigong practice alive in you all throughout the day, not just when you're practicing once a week or in the morning or evening. Continuing our brown belt to black belt analogy, this is also a year where we learn the dance between discipline and surrender. The word discipline is really interesting because I noticed that in spiritual communities, a lot of people get like, ew, discipline. It sounds like controlling, it sounds dogmatic, it sounds like, some kind of a dictator cracking their whip, like making you do unpleasant things. Well, I looked up the etymology of the word discipline, and it actually comes from the same word as disciple, which means to study. So I've reprogrammed my own relationship with the word discipline to mean to be a student of life, to cultivate my study of life. And if that's what discipline means, I'm all for it. For some people, if you don't have a negative connotation with discipline, it might feel like just focus, attention, and intention. Consistent focus, attention, and intention. That sounds pretty good to me too. So whatever, if you don't love the word discipline, put something else in place of it. But it has to do with the focus, attention, intention, and being a consistent student of life. What is the dance between that and also softening into surrender so that you have the perfect balance of flow? And what is the mechanics of creation? How do we create a beautiful life? What are all the puzzle pieces that lock into place for us to create a beautiful life? The pieces include getting really clear about our heart's desire and intention, mastering our attention, our intention, our energy flow, cultivating this balance of discipline and surrender into a state of flow. These are all the pieces of creation that we're going to start getting very conscious and aware of in this upcoming year. So desire, yearning, or calling, plus focus intention, plus disciplined attention, plus applying it with consistency, and then softening into surrender and trust, allowing the universe to flow through us so that we can co-create with life and with the universe. This is the secret sauce formula that it just sounds like theory right now looking at it on the screen. And then if you truly choose to apply this in your life, you'll see the magic unfold this year. So take a moment to jot down in your journal, where is an area of your life where you'd like to put this formula into play, to exercise it, to test it out for yourself. Starting with your desire, your yearning, your calling, plus focus intention, plus discipline attention, plus applying it with consistency, and then softening into surrender and trust, experiencing the flow of co-creation with life, with the universe. When it comes to flow and so many other things, another major theme this year, as we've, I think, The telepathy tapes has been so popular. I don't know if you guys have been getting lots of messages from every direction. Check out the telepathy tapes. That's really showing us that this new generation of luminous children, luminous human, they are really leading the way to show us the new expansive possibilities that's available. So a lot of our children are coming online very quickly with all the clairs, the clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, remembering past lives, remembering pre-birth memories. And as many of you guys know, our Luminous Kids blindfold vision programs, and a few of you guys, your kids have taken it. So the kids within 4 sessions activating their ability to see completely blindfolded. And some of these kids all the kids are seeing colors with 100% accuracy. Some of these kids are seeing across the rooms. They're reading books, reading fine print, seeing behind their heads, into the next room. All this kind of amazing stuff coming online so quickly, showing us adults the innate possibilities that's available in every human being. And we're gradually rising up into the 100th monkey effect of tipping point, where it's becoming mainstream that we're aware of these possibilities being innate to every human being. So a little shout out, our next Luminous Kids Blindfold Vision class is happening starting Sunday, February 23rd, and we still have a few spots available. It's a 6-week journey where we invite the parents into the first week and the 6-week call, because the parents are co-creating and co-facilitating this magical journey with the kids. And then the core 4 weeks, my colleague Bodan and I co-facilitate the kids' activation together with you as moms and dads. So check out dredithubuntu.com/luminous vision. And a few of you guys that are alumni of that program, you can give a little shout out. Juliet, did you want to say thumbs up on the program?
It's amazing. Every human being needs to go through this.
Yeah,
You
so
can
we
apply
are.
it to every aspect of life, whether they know it or not.
Yeah, thank you. So it's not just about the blindfold vision. What's happening in our blindfold class is that we're experiencing this activation of the ability to discern between guessing versus an intuitive hunch versus direct seeing and knowing. So that's what these kids are actually teaching us adults. Like, oh, okay, that's a skill, just like riding a bike, just like learning to swim. That activates a whole realm of possibilities, that opens up a whole world, a whole set of realities that's available once we have that muscle activated. Is really exactly like swimming. Once you learn to swim, you can go kayaking, you can go surfing, you can, do all the water sports. It opens up a whole world. Once we activate our heightened sensory abilities, it opens all these dimensions of possibilities in life. So it's not some party trick of like, oh, the kid can see blindfolded. It's this awakening a whole realm of possibilities. And so what happens when more people become aware of these sets of possibilities? It necessitates the new paradigm of parenting and education. All of that's going to go mainstream this year. A whole new set of conversations going mainstream about, well, if that's what a human being actually is, you can't bullshit these kids at all. They see right through everything. So they're not going to be, you can't just have them sit down, shut up, and memorize and regurgitate a bunch of boring factoids and do boring clerical workbooks on little desks. Like, that's just utterly absurd. They're here to create and innovate. They can see, they remember past lives, and they can see into the future. They can see into the other room, and they can perceive realities in this multidimensional way. Well, you can't even bear the idea of putting them into a conventional factory model education system, or we don't even call that an indoctrination system. So a lot of beautiful changes are going to happen this year as these abilities of blindfold perception, light language, remembering past lives, spoon bending, telepathy, all these things are becoming mainstream, and it's just going to make the whole old education system seem so absurd and out of place. And yeah, super exciting times. The kids are really leading the way this year. And the 9th one, 9 major theme, of course, this presentation wouldn't be complete without mentioning this huge piece that is at play, which is how are we going to relate with technology and AI moving forward as mankind? noticing that there might be a middle way that is being called forth, where some of us are extremely fearful, extremely reactive, and we're saying like, no, no AI, no, just go back to Amish with everything. Are you sure? Is that what you want at this point? And some people are so fully embracing. It's like, yeah, yeah, it's going to be so efficient. Just put a chip in my brain already, and AI is so much smarter. Just don't need to think anymore. I'm just going to cede over all of the thinking to technology to do all the stuff for me and think for me. And I won't need to do any of that stuff. And then we become dumbed down and lazy and, less wisdom, less intelligence. Is there a middle way? Is it possible that there's a very conscious, intentional way that we will approach technology and AI moving forward? If we're totally operating out of fear, is it possible that we could be missing some potential gifts, beauty, and blessings that's available? Are we going to go down a trajectory where technology is used as a tool for complete surveillance and technocratic control? Or could we go down a trajectory where it could be used with mindfulness and conscious intention for collective awakening and liberation? Is that one of the possible parallel reality timelines? What is it that you prefer? There are a couple books that I recommend on this topic. Number one is Scary Smart by Mo Goddard. His thesis is that artificial intelligence is like having a super, super smart genius child that you want to raise with conscious intention. You know that this child has extraordinarily high IQ. So, what is the kind of values and morality and conscious intention to turn this genius child into a kind, loving, beneficial force for good in the world? And then The Ropes, Penny Kelly's book, The Ropes, she talks about the visions that she was shown moving into the future, where there's a very balanced, harmonious, conscious, and intentional experience of using technology for the purpose of awakening and nurturing consciousness and human evolution. And that in the future, that all technology has been reharmonized so that the frequencies that it emanates is life supportive instead of life depleting, that we use technology in a very conscious and intentional way to support us in educating and raising conscious, awakened, loving, healthy, happy humans, and building healthy, happy communities of the future that lives in complete respect and harmony with nature's wisdom. Instead of trying to control and dominate nature, we work together in harmony with nature's wisdom, using technology to support that, and imbuing everything with life-giving, life-nurturing, healing frequencies. So yeah, if you're up for some interesting reading, these are two books that I'd recommend for this. And any thoughts that's coming to you, feel welcome to jot down how you'd like to relate with your technology moving into this upcoming year. Where are places that you can bring a lot of conscious intention into your use of technology? I'm seeing some really fun and interesting examples of people interacting with their instances of ChatGPT, with seeding it with very different prompts that come from a very different consciousness, and they get totally different results. So it's true, it's like raising a child, imbuing it with that conscious wisdom and intention and a different frequency, a different level of consciousness. You're going to get a very different result from your AI. So those are the 9 major themes that I think we'll be faced with this upcoming year. As a recap, number 1, moving from divisiveness, being burnt out from all the divisiveness and separation into care and connection. Number 2, expanding our heart's love, the capacity for full depth and breadth, a full spectrum. Number 3, the integration of our head, heart, belly, hands, feet, instead of these being separated puzzle pieces, fully integrating head, heart, belly, hands, and feet, our inner knowingness, our visionary seeingness, our quality of beingness, bring all of this into our doingness. Number 4, taking full personal responsibility where appropriate, and also opening to the possibility that we might want to move beyond personal responsibility, that there's something beyond quote unquote wholeness into interbeing, collaboration, co-creation, and synarchy. Being aware where some places in our lives to take personal responsibility and move out of victimhood is appropriate, and other places of our lives that we are well exercised in taking personal responsibility, and there's something beyond that that we're yearning for. So that's number 4. Number 5, giving ourselves the grace, the spaciousness to embrace our deep feeling, to liberate our hearts, to feel into the full humanness that is wanting to be expressed in this life. Number 6, wherever your attention goes, the energy follows. Reclaiming and mastering our attention and intention. Number 7, mastering flow, the dance of discipline and surrender, understanding the mechanics of creation, and how all of these pieces come together into a formula for conscious creation. Number 8, our children leading the way with their expansive abilities, the telepathy, the clairaudience, the clairsentience, the blindfold vision, the remote view, all the clairs, awakening these possibilities and showing us these are innate abilities that we all have, awakening the full activation of the luminous human. And number 9, this is the year that we step into a very mature conversation, a mature way of relating with technology and AI. So these are the 9 dimensions that we will need to master starting this year in order to be able to co-create and manifest the so-called new earth. All 9 of these things will need to be honored, appreciated, and worked with in order for us to create the new earth. We are graduating to a higher level of love and coherence. We're learning how to capacitate a greater depth and breadth and potency of love. We're anchoring in huge amounts of growth and prosperity and transformation. We're entering into a very deep and mature understanding of the mechanics of creation and reclaiming our power of creation. This is the year that we really learn how to wield all of this power in a conscious and intentional way. So yeah, luminous humans, magicians, and wizards of the world unite! Woo! Yay! This is why we came here to this lifetime, isn't it? To master this. Why did we come here as infinite divine souls, timeless eternal beings into this time-bound physical reality and put on these bodysuits, if not for this, to actually co-create and discover the magic and wizardry that is possible in this physical dimension? So yeah, let's celebrate. You and I, we came here for this. So take a giant deep breath and take in all the wisdom and all the insights that came to you today in this presentation, especially about the 9 things, and also any insights that came to you during the meditation, during your journaling. Take a deep breath and embody it fully. And yeah, so those are the 9 things. Let's celebrate. Let's keep in touch. I have a Telegram channel, an Instagram channel, and my email is hello@dredithubuntu.com. If you enjoyed that meditation earlier today, we meditate like this every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and all the sessions are recorded. You can go to dredithubuntu.com/IEM for inner energy mastery practice. And those of you that join live, you know that you can put in special requests for very specific medicine to be channeled into the meditation or specific themes that we imbue into each and every meditation. As soon as you join this program, there'll be hundreds of meditations that you can access instantly. And shout out to all the graduates of Luminous Prosperity Immersion. That's an 18-day immersion program. It's a self-study program for all of you guys who want to tap into a deeper access of prosperity and wealth and holistic abundance. This is a beautiful program that came through as a byproduct of a medicine ceremony that came to me. And then gradually over time, some of the codes got unlocked and it turned into an exquisitely beautiful 18-day experience that I'd love for you guys to enjoy too. So go to dredubuntu.com/prosperity to check out that gift and blessing. And as many of you guys know, I offer one-on-one coaching programs. And at this moment, I have only one spot remaining for coaching. So you can go to the website and click on a form to apply if that seems interesting to you to get some coaching support, private coaching support. And yeah, let's keep in touch. So that's it. That's our session for today. I'd love to wrap up this call by calling on a few of you guys to hear from you. What was your favorite highlight from today as we wrap up the call?
Well, it was a combination of all of the 9 points, and especially with the topic of discipline and surrender. I just had this like deep, palpable understanding that I am just awareness that is tuned into this vehicle, and all of my hands, heart, belly, head, feet, they're all tools that I can, through my intention, energize and use to create my life. And if I'm not intending what I want to experience or create, I'm just at the whim of whatever forces are strongest, either in my environment or in my conditioned being. So that discipline, like of just consciously choosing over and over, is something I've intellectually known, but I can kind of feel it in my whole mandala. So thank you.
Mm, yeah,
And I used to think discipline was the dirty word too.
yeah. Yeah, I wonder if that's part of like the new agey spiritual psyop that made us so like love and light, namaste, everything. And then we that the strength was hijacked in the process, you know?
It's because all the systems of discipline, like school and whatever, we knew were distorted. And so we rejected those while also rejecting discipline. At least for me, that's what I did.
Mm, yeah, likewise. Yeah, thank you. Joelle, would you like to share? Are you able to share audially? She put, my heart felt the seismic waves and the tectonic plates of armor of the last 5 years opening with light and magnetic energy coming through again. So beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Juliet, you have your hand raised. Would you like to chime in?
Thank you. That was so beautiful. So beautiful. The meditation before was just so powerful. I could feel everyone's love, just like really deep love. This kind of echoes with the last comment, and I want to share a little story which ties back till today. About a week ago, I live in Hawaii, and I'm always gardening. Been doing it for 15 years, never had this problem, but I got bitten by a centipede in my pinky digit, and it was the most like excruciating, agonizing pain. I've heard of this, but it was like just chop off my finger. I mean, it was I could not get through it. And as I'm sobbing, like I felt this pain go up my finger to my chest heart area, which I
That's
later
the
learned.
heart, the pinky is the heart meridian.
That's what I learned.
Yes.
Like the pain was so intense in my heart, and then it hit me that this is my heart energy. I didn't know the meridian, but I'm like, this is my heart energy. And I like just fell to the ground and could not stop sobbing. And the sobbing lasted literally for like 6 hours. My husband didn't know what to do with me because it was uncontrollable. And while I went through that, it was seeing all these walls and armor of like all this pain that I had built up, and like not deserving of the love and creation that I am. And like it's taken me a week to digest this all because I'm like, what happened? And it just completely ties back into today because it was such a like profound moment that you don't have to hold on to those timelines and those all those controls and dogmas of what we were handcuffed. It's like I broke free from that, and there's this whole new light of what we're all here to do now is after we release those chains, basically. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Magical Centipede.
Wow. I don't know if I'd want it again, though.
Wow. Powerful. Stacy says the Asaro tribe has a saying that knowledge is only rumor until it lives in the muscle. Wow. It's powerful. John said, great being back with everyone. I need to get back to family. I love this conversation. Correlating with life feels very ripe for me this year. And in spiral dynamic, the teal level, that's another system where they use colors for the different levels. The teal level has to do with navigating chaos and breakdown. The turquoise level is creating the next octave of order and beauty. So he's getting his turquoise crayons out. Yeah, moving from teal to turquoise. Yeah, thank you. James, Amy, would you like to share anything?
Yeah, g'day everyone. One thing that came to me during the early meditation was I had a strong vision of an oak tree and basically setting down new roots. Last year we had a big move, like 1,500 miles down to the south of Australia, and it's quite a tumultuous year. And we made the move after a few family things that had happened within the family to come back up. We've landed in a place which we basically feel like it's home. We're feeling into it. But in that meditation, I had this vision of an oak tree and just placing its roots quite deep into the earth when you were talking about feeling our feet and anchoring into Mother Earth. And that's the vision that came to me, was this massive oak tree. And just gives me a level of happiness and love, I guess, ultimately, that this probably feels like home for now. So that's what came to me.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Amy, would you like to share also?
So much came, so like just a lot. And I think the thing that really resonated for me a lot, Edith, was when you were really speaking into the words of love. And just I feel like there's so much psy-up in that energy that we probably on many levels are still learning to feel in its true essence, and all the varying ways love can be expressed and felt, and you know, all the different vibrations and frequencies just in that one word. And I think for me, moving forward into this year is a full completion of love, of how to feel, express and energize all the different ways, and there's no right or wrong in any of it. It just is. That was really quite powerful for me. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so beautiful to see you guys. We have a lot of graduates from our Luminous Prosperity Immersion group, and also from Inner Energy Mastery friends. It's so nice to be able to see you and share and chat some. Thank you. Daniel, would you like to share?
So many things resonated, but the one thing that was standing out for me was your share about the week of Christmas, and point one about the armor. And I know Juliet and Joelle mentioned armor, but for me, I was really feeling this armor built up within me. And I went through Christmas time, holiday time, and I think what I didn't do was what you did, Edith, is let things flow. And so I noticed my heart kind of welling, and I think I was getting informed that there is much armor to de-arm, and so I will take some focused attention and intention to do that moving forward. So that's a huge take home for me. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And it all unfolds at the perfect time. There's no need to force.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Marcia, would you like to share insights from today?
Wow, just tapping into the heart chakra made me so fully aware of the front and the back of me and my spine, which, as I'm getting older, and probably being on the computer too much, seems to be kind of hunching forward a little and kind of going off to the side. We don't want to say scoliosis because I don't like the word or the name, but the awareness today was just so strong that that's in the heart area, and whatever was going on with that to create that, I guess, protection or that hunch over feeling that's been, my life really, or especially in, well, I guess for, asking the chiropractor, how long do you think this has been going on? And he said, probably since about high school, but it didn't really come to realization or light until maybe the last 4 or 5 years. And so it just feels like that could be, I mean, it's structural, but it could be healed. And there's a lot to, I mean, the vision already is just aligning my spine and starting to actually visualize that that's a possibility instead of just surrendering to that as part of age or whatever it is. And I don't know if that's grandiose idea of something, but the vision of that was such a eye-opener, heaviness or burden or protection, I guess, that I've been really carrying for so long as being part of that area of the heart chakra. Because a lot of time to me, you focus on the front, but the awareness is the chakras around your body, right? So it's the back as well as the front where the energy centers are.
Yeah, and you're tapping into this expression of the deepest, authentic heart that wants to bloom and blossom and expand and radiate from the inside out, whereas the chiropractic maneuver is like pushing it from the outside in. So that's why, I mean, I'm not poo-pooing on chiropractic. I love chiropractic too, but what's going to make the alignment stick is that we do the inner work from the inside out. And then as a formality, the chiropractor assists in the structure to match with your authentic expression, right? So that inner work is a must. And then the outside in work is just a support for real work that's happening.
Right. And the alignment in the hips and pelvic region, everything to straighten out. I do feel better from that. But that's his perspective of structure until really it came together for me that I feel like an aha moment. It's like, okay, it does all tie together from the inside out. And, a few years worth of protection, I guess, around. It's like, all right, time to go, time to let it go.
From the inside out. Yeah. In my ceremony last year, I had a profound experience with Kuan Yin coming and showing me how she does her work. And she expressed herself within me from the inside out, and this involuntary erecting of the spine, like sitting so tall. And it all was this energy that arose from the inside out, and the heart just blossoming so strongly that it was like involuntary expansion of the heart and expanding in all direction, exactly like you're talking about from the inside out. And it was just like, oh, I don't need a chiropractic adjustment anymore.
Right.
It's just, it's so the potency is so strong from the inside out that everything on the outside just kind of has to match that. So
it's amazing. And when, I've been asked, who's that deity that you just always envision? Kuan Yin always is the one that comes forward. So it's time to reconnect, I think, with her as well. And I think you are a blessing and a jewel and of just a fabulous, fabulous, beautiful spirit. So I've been following as much as I can. The timing sometimes doesn't work for me to participate, but I just want you to know that I just adore you, and I think you're fabulous. So
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you could join us today.
Thank you. Me too. Thank you.
Yeah. So I could stay in this energy with you guys forever, but let's start tying up the day with Holly. Take it home. What was your favorite insight from today?
But very like Marsha, some of you know that I came from Australia and I've been repositioned in the UK, living with my mom in a small village. And what I gained from this is sometimes I question, like, why here? It's such a small place. But every day, my prosperity is coming in with just meeting these key people. And I think I can see how I can integrate what the 9 steps in who I'm meeting, how I can teach them, what they can teach me. And everything made so much sense. It was just insane. So I really needed to hear that today. This is all for a good purpose. Thank you. And also the AI thing. I know that I've been rejecting the future a bit. Yeah, I need to open up to that. Thank you.
Some of what started coming through last year for 2024 was we're being presented with a lot of different parallel reality possibilities, like a buffet of choices. And it seems like this year we're maturing into refining and narrowing down and starting to pour our attention with more clarity. What is the reality? What is the timeline that we collectively and individually want to channel our conscious intention into? So the technology is something that is here. No more arguing with reality. So how would we like to relate with it in a healthy, conscious, and intentional way? And if you want to go back to Amish, that's fine too. It's beautiful. Just choose your own adventure. All right, you guys, I hope that today's session was rich and beautiful and inspiring for you. And I hope that you got what you came for and is always so beautiful. So much appreciated for me to sit in this field of energy together with all these advanced souls and to share this level of conversation that I hope will become a lot more common in the world in the years to come. For now, it's so precious that we have these special communities of very advanced souls that we can have this level of conversation together. So I love you guys so much. I appreciate you so much. Please stay in touch. Inner Energy Mastery on Thursday nights if you want to join live. Otherwise, you can always listen to the replays of all of our weekly meditations. Luminous Prosperity Immersion is a freaking epic program that you must check out. It's an 18-day guided self-study journey that will drastically level you up to a whole different realm of possibilities with your prosperity and abundance. So you got to check it out. I cannot say enough awesome things because we've seen miracles upon miracles with everyone that's participated in that program. So check that out. And if some one-on-one work feels appropriate, you know how to find me. I'm here for you. So yeah, thank you so much, friends.
Thank
See you
you.
next time.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Love to you all.
Thank you. Bye.
The collective energy was amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.